Hi, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Megan.
Welcome to the Grimdark Diaries.
We're your geek gal pals obsessed with true crime and all things dark and disturbing.
Hi, everybody. Welcome into official spooky season. It is October. We are now recording in October. This is releasing in October. Just all things October.
Ooh.
I did a fun spooky season kickoff thing on Sunday, which was October 2nd.
Oh, did you? What'd you do?
I went on a ghost walk.
Oh, did you actually?
Yes, for the first time living in this city.
How was it? I'm so excited to hear.
It was fun. I definitely think that if you are not from Nova Scotia, it would be really good. Because it was very historical.
I bet. Yeah.
The guy that led the tour, it was one guy. I tell you, man, if he must have spent his whole life in theater or have dreams of being in theater or something, because he was something else.
Really?
The way he told the story, it was like so much bravado and so much like build up, and it was wild.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
I
so
want to go.
Fun. It was long. My only gripe with it, and we went, so it's my best friend's birthday on October 11th, but she wanted to do this ghost walk, so we went on October 2nd, and I loved her. I loved her. No, I still love her. I love her, but I told her that from now on, if she wants to do outdoor things for her October birthday, we have to celebrate them in July, because it was freezing.
I bet. Yeah. What time does it start? Like how late at night?
It doesn't start till 8:30 p.m. and it goes until 10:15.
Oh, that's a long. That's
yes, and it
definitely a long
ends
time
down
to be outside.
literally on the water, like out on a wharf in the water.
Yeah.
So
it's like guaranteed to be 10 degrees, 5 to 10 degrees colder by the water than anywhere else in the city.
Freezing. It was only the temperature outside, I think, was like 6 degrees Celsius was the actual temperature.
We were getting frost warnings those nights.
Yes. I wore my winter parka, my down-filled parka.
I
wore my sheepskin Uggs. I wore a scarf, and I was frozen.
Really? Oh, no.
I was shivering by the end of it.
Oh, no.
So that was the only downfall, is that it was very, very cold.
Yeah.
Obviously, that could have been something I prepared for more, but I didn't think it would be so cold, and none of us were prepared.
Well, we got record low temperatures this past weekend. Like, we have had some of the coldest weather that I think broke records this early on in October. How cold it is.
And during the day, it was nice out. It was like 16 or 17 degrees Celsius and sunny. So I was not prepared for the cold. So that took away from my personal experience, because I hate being cold.
That sucks. I definitely want to do it, though. I will definitely prepare much, much, much better. Not better, but just more.
Wear gloves and a hat.
Thermals?
If I had gloves and a hat, I would have been much better. My head was very cold.
Oh, yeah. That makes a huge difference, I find. And like really good boots, because if you're on concrete and you can feel the cold coming up through your boots, that also makes it really uncomfortable and bad.
Yeah, I also made the mistake of, near the end of the tour, there was a couple spots where he got us to stop, and there were stone stairs that you could sit down on and he encouraged you to sit down while he told his story at that spot. And I mean, we'd been out for like over an hour at this point, so like I'm happy to sit down.
Yes.
But sitting on cold stone steps when you're already cold,
you need to have like
my butt got cold, and I was
like
just
a blanket
real cold
to sit on or something. Okay, I'm taking notes because I want to do this.
Yeah, take notes. It's great. It was a really good time. I highly recommend it. The stories were great. He had a lot of, I think somebody else, it's him and some other guy. I think they take turns doing it or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but the guy we had, he was really into it. We were saying afterwards he'd make a good dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons, because either he'd make the best one ever or the worst one ever, because he either talked too much or he would be like the best storyteller.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I like to go with the latter. I think that he would be the best storyteller ever.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's worth it though. It was only $20 a person.
Oh, geez, that's so cheap.
Yeah, hour and 45 minutes entertainment, $20. It's worth it.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I'm so intrigued about all the historical stories for the ghost stories that are downtown.
Yeah, it was very historical. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna steal some for some.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, there's a couple I hadn't
Cool.
heard, so I'm gonna be Googling those.
Awesome. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm definitely gonna look that up.
Yep, that was my beginning of spooky season. I plan on going to a pumpkin patch. I plan on eating some soup. I was going to go to a goat farm this Saturday, but I think it's supposed to rain.
Well, the weather might change. It's only Wednesday.
You have to make a reservation, though, so I'd have to do it now.
How much notice do you need to cancel, though?
I don't know. It's like a therapy goat farm, so I don't want to take up a spot.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's fair.
But I love goats. They're my favorite animal.
I do know this. The pygmy goats, especially.
Oh my God. You put me in a pen of pygmy goats. I'm the happiest person in the world. And then I found this farm, and it's only like 45 minutes away, and it's a therapy goat farm, and they have 49 goats, and they're all
49. Oh, you go in and pet them?
You can come with me. It's free.
I would love to. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Not when it's raining, though.
No, I want to go when it's nice weather,
Yeah,
so I can
okay.
enjoy my time with the goats, and I can get on the ground with them.
Oh my gosh. They must be open in the summertime then.
Oh yeah. I just only
That's a
found out about them
summertime
this
activity.
week.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, so this isn't a spooky season activity. I just only found out about it. So
Yeah.
and I'm
fair
sure
enough.
they close for the winter, so I'm just trying to get out and see some goats.
Yeah, that's fair. You can always just go out and have a look around and play with some goats for a little while and then make a plan for a much longer day trip in the
Oh no, you'll have to peel me away anytime we go. If there's goats involved, game over.
You're gonna have to get your own farm when you get your land out in the middle of the woods.
Absolutely not. Do you know how much work that is?
I would assume that you would love to do it. It wouldn't feel like work if you love the goats.
I need a job that doesn't make me work 55 to 60 hours a week first. You give me a job where I'm making the money I make now, but work half the time, and then I will also add in a farm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Purely goats, though. All I want is goats.
Mm-hmm. Goat farm. Got it. Cool.
So since I've already jammed it in your ears, it is October, which means it is spooky season, which means our list of categories is just out the window. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
See ya. And we're doing our own spooky season DM's choice all month, picking our own thing. Slightly in the
forgotten
theme
about
of
apparently.
spooky and Halloween or something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The inspiration for choosing my story today came from a conversation that you and I had while we were in the hotel in Cape Breton, Megan.
Oh, really?
Yep. Because we were talking about October's birthstone, which is opal.
Yes, that's right. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that conversation.
Yeah, because you started Googling it. And then I was like,
I
wait,
did.
don't Google it. I'm going to make this into a story somehow.
That's right. I forgot all about that. That's so funny. Yes, I want to hear this.
Yes. So if people don't know and why we were discussing this, it's because it is, whoever they are, they say
Yeah.
that it is considered bad luck to have opal as like on your possession, to wear it in jewelry or have it if you were not born in October. And that makes me sad because I love opal. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about opals. But we're also, because that's just not long enough to do a whole story. So we're also going to talk about other common superstitions and traditions that we all kind of partake in and where they came from and if they're legit or not.
Oh, okay. I like this.
Right?
I'm not a very superstitious person, but there are like one or two.
We'll see. We'll go through the list that I comprised here and see how many of these and some of these are like just subconsciously you do it.
True.
Like it's just a thing that you do that you might not consider a superstition, but it technically is.
True. I would be interested to hear if I do any of those ones.
And maybe after this episode, people won't be so nervous to follow all these things because then they'll find out the real reason behind them. Or maybe you'll follow them even more. Who knows?
Maybe you'll not do them at all.
Yeah, maybe I'll scare you into doing them more. So today is a knowledge is power kind of episode. We will laugh and we will learn.
Excellent. I'm very excited. I do like to laugh and learn.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Two of my favorite things. How did you know?
I know you well.
True.
That's why I'm going to bring you to the therapy goat farm with me.
Yay, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I think they have a donkey too. They have some horses and a donkey.
Oh, I am terrified of horses. I'm going to tell you
I
that
also
right
have a fear
now.
of horses.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not alone. We will be staying away from the horses,
yeah, but
please.
it's a therapy farm, so I imagine they're very gentle.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Yes, we had a horse on our farm, and not a fan.
Well, I went to multiple different camps as a child, and they all had like a horse riding section or whatever. Like you got to do horse riding certain points of the day, and almost every single time something bad happened with a horse and a child. I just
not
always
interested.
around it. I don't want to be anywhere near them because I feel like I'm bad luck and I make them crazy and they hurt people.
Don't tell me that before I'm going to bring you to the
No, I
therapy
know.
goat farm for me to
We're
relax.
not going to go near the horses. It'll be fine.
So like I mentioned, the first one we're going to talk about is opals because it's October's birthstone. So it's really most relevant and only relevant to today's theme. But I'm stretching it and it'll be interesting. So you'll love it. I promise. I always heard growing up that if you weren't born in October, then it was bad luck to have opal jewelry. And then when I was trying to find a wedding band for myself, I really wanted just a plain rose gold band that had a little bit of opal inlay in it because I think that opals are beautiful. They look like they're made of magic because they just, if nobody knows what opals look like, go Google it. You can get different color ones, but I like the ones that are kind of white. And when you move them, they have like rainbow shimmer in them. They look like magic. They magical.
It's true. Yeah.
Can we just say
agree.
magic one more time?
They're magical. Magical opals.
So I wanted just plain rose gold band with some opal in it, but I was told that that's bad luck for marriage and it will be like the marriage won't go well if I wear an opal wedding band.
Oh.
Yes. And because I'd already heard that it was bad luck to have them, but I was kind of like, whatever, I don't care. I'm 30 years old. I'm not going to believe that. And
Absolutely.
then I was looking, I had some even favorited on Etsy and I was like, I think I'm going to get one of these. And then I was talked out of it. Honestly, I think it was my mother also that said it to me.
Really?
I think she said opals bring tears. Is like the saying or something.
Oh no.
She wasn't the only one, but I feel like my mother was one of them.
I do feel like I read that when I was starting to read it in the room while we were in
opals bring
Cape Breton.
tears.
Yeah. And I didn't know why. And I did not continue to read it because you told me to stop.
Good. Yes. So I don't know. In my jellies, I kind of felt like I didn't believe it. But at the same time, I don't know, it made me nervous. I'm about to get married. I don't want to buy the wedding band that everyone said is going to ruin the marriage.
True. Even though it might be a superstitious thing, you still have it in the back of your mind. If somebody tells you, like, then that in and of itself kind of brings bad into fruition, right? So,
right.
Yes, I understand.
So apparently there is more than just the bad luck superstition with opal. So here is a list of the very common opal superstitions. If you look, there's like a million everywhere, but these are the ones that it seemed like everyone kind of knew. So like I said before, it's only safe to wear them if you were born in October because it is your birthstone. You should never ever give opal as a gift. And if someone gives you one, do not accept it.
What?
That's just part of it.
I feel like we're talking about the Fae again.
Right? Well, you just wait. You just wait till we unravel this superstition, I say in quotation marks.
Uh-oh.
Engagement rings must never contain an opal or else the new bride will become a widow shortly after marriage.
Oh my God.
Right. So that's what I was dealing with trying to get married.
That escalated really quickly.
Yes. And mine wasn't even, I already had an engagement ring that my husband bought me. I was just looking for the band. So I don't know. No. I didn't want to become a widow. What if I bought the ring and my husband died? And then I'd be like, oh no.
That
it was because I bought this $200 ring on Etsy.
Yeah, was it worth it? No.
Right? So I was nervous.
Man, I would be too.
The other really common one is that opals will lose their magical shine if their owner ever dies. So all that rainbow shimmer in it will go away. So why the heck do people think these things about a stone that looks so happy and pretty? I feel like just looking at it brings joy. So why are we saying all these awful things about it? There was a time when opals were thought to be one of the most lucky and magical of all the gemstones that were discovered in the world. Ancient Romans gifted opals to their wives as a sign of good fortune. Egyptians thought they were powerful stones that radiate positivity. And the early Greeks thought owning them gave the power of prophecy and foresight. So starting out, these bad boys, great.
Yeah.
All good things.
Absolutely.
In the Middle Ages, opals were considered a good luck talisman because they contained flecks of all the colors of every other gemstone. So it was like they combined all the powers of all the gemstones.
Oh, wow.
Which I love.
Yeah.
So this all sounds great. Right now, at this point in time, the PR team for opals needs to do no work because it's selling
PR
itself.
team.
It's doing good. The rep is good.
If you had only read that before buying the ring, then you would have definitely bought the ring.
Right. So everything's good. Everything's coming up Millhouse for opals. They're happy. They're selling. Everybody wants them. They're gifts for brides. It's great.
I kind of want one now too.
Right? But then Sir Walter Scott came along in 1829 and he started to change all that. Sir Scott wrote a novel called Anne of Geierstein, in which a character named the Baroness of Arnheim wears an opal talisman with supernatural powers. According to the story, the Baroness dies when a drop of holy water falls onto the opal and drains the stone of its color.
What? Holy water?
Yes. Which, if people are into the church right now and holy water did that, it's not looking good for opals.
No, not at all.
Luckily for Sir Scott, this book was very popular. But unfortunate for opal lovers that people at this time now began to associate opals with bad luck and death, thanks to what he wrote.
He just wrote a story. Like, it wasn't based on anything
No.
real, right? Like, it was just
no, it's just a story.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Fiction.
Yeah, I hate that.
After the book got popular, sales of the gemstone dropped by 50% and remained low for the next 20 years. In the 19th century, the falling of monarchies who previously coveted opals caused another hit to the reputation, and then came famine, pestilence, and the Black Plague.
That is no good. No bueno.
No, there's a lot going on. Going on in Europe. Europeans started to think that once a patient died, their opals would lose their bright, colorful brilliance. So then it was going along with that book.
I would like to know the science behind that.
There's none. The book said it, so that's what people think.
Got it. Nobody ever actually looked at an opal after somebody died.
They couldn't have.
Apparently.
And then comes the real kicker. At the turn of the 20th century, a large amount of opal was making its way into the precious gemstone market in not just Europe, but also in different parts of England and the USA, where it previously wasn't. Diamond traders, who had been leading the sales in these areas, didn't like this new stone cutting into their profits. So they are actually the ones that started the rumor that opals are bad luck.
Oh, the diamond traders.
The diamond traders did.
Ooh, I love a good competitive banter. It's not a banter. You know what I mean?
No, this slander.
I love it.
They would get sued for this now.
I mean, is it? Because what is it, an opal trading company? Is that what they're like slandering? They're slandering an opals. Yeah, but that's not a company or a person.
You think that somebody wouldn't take them? You think in this day and age?
How would somebody take them to court for slander against an object?
You could 100%.
I don't know.
Do you look at the news about what people go to court for?
I do not, actually. Only when I'm looking up stories, but if I don't see something interesting, I just move along. I have never seen anybody suing slander against an object before. Maybe I am totally
Maybe I used the wrong word. Okay. This is not a time for disagreement.
Okay. I'm sorry.
But in this day and age, that wouldn't fly. You can't, that would be like McDonald's coming out and being like, I don't know, pizza gives you cancer. So you think that no one's going to go after McDonald's?
I feel like it would go viral on social media, and then that would cause like sales to drop and things like that. So yes, I do see what you're saying. I think slander is the wrong word though.
They would get a class action lawsuit to bring them down. Either way, you can't do that in today's society. Just stand up and lie.
No.
So
no, you'll definitely get called out if you're lying, for sure.
Right. Because that's also fraud. So either way, Megan really steals the thunder from the diamond traders here.
I'm sorry. It says slander at the action or crime of making a false spoken statement damaging to a person's reputation.
I used the wrong word, Megan. Yes. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay. Just have to be,
Oh my God.
Correct.
This is the hill that Megan's dying on today. That I said the word slander.
I'm sorry. Continue.
Would you like me to Google the right word, or can we continue?
I'm good. Okay. I'm good. We're continuing. Continue.
So they not only started the rumor, but they shared the rumor everywhere. So Opal people not doing great. They told everyone everywhere that would listen, Opal's bad luck. So it basically came down to, in the end, Diamonds had a more aggressive PR team than Opal's. They didn't have anyone, there to kind of back Opal's and do anything about it. They also didn't want to say stuff about Diamonds. That was not their game. And so just diamond traders, greedy for sales, they basically just started the rumor. So there's literally no fact. There's no evidence. There's no correlation to anything.
Wow.
That Opals are bad luck.
That is really shitty of them to do that. I feel like it shouldn't matter what kind of gem you have. It's based on the rarity of it and the beauty of it, in my personal opinion. Maybe that's what it is now. I don't know.
So everyone that wants to wear opals, fear not. You can wear them with no fear of bad luck because they are just regular, beautiful gemstones. And the diamond traders are just liars. Blame them.
Absolutely. So now you can get your fancy ring that you want.
I mean, I already spent a lot of money on a wedding band, so.
Fair.
The next superstition we're going to talk about is blowing out our candles on our birthday.
Which we probably won't do very much now going forward after COVID.
Because of COVID.
Right?
If someone has lived under some kind of weird rock and doesn't know what I mean, generally, at least here anyway, also most of this stuff, I don't know if these are the same kind of superstitions or traditions in other parts of the world. Obviously, we live in North America, so these are the ones that are very common to us, but perhaps they are not in your corner of the world, or perhaps they are slightly different or something else. But this is kind of North America. But over here, we put candles on our birthday cake, and then you have to blow them out and make a wish, and you're not supposed to say your wish out loud, because if you do, it won't come true. And you're also supposed to blow out all the candles in one breath, or your wish will not come true.
Or that's how many boyfriends or girlfriends that you have.
Isn't that the icing on your knife?
No.
See,
the way we did it in our family, if you had a candle or two that you didn't blow out with the big blow, phrasing. If you didn't blow out all the candles and you had one or two still lit, that would be how many boyfriends or girlfriends that you had. We still say that
Oh.
even today. I know.
That's a weird thing to tell children. I don't think I support that.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why. We just always have. It's, I don't know, family tradition, I guess. Weird.
The only thing I ever heard is that when you're cutting the cake, if it's your birthday and you're cutting it, and on your first slice, you lift the knife and there's icing on it, you have to tell who your crush is.
Oh.
I didn't hear that as a kid. I heard that as an old, like in my 20s, like when I was in university. So I don't think that came from the island. I don't know where that is.
I never heard that one before, so definitely not.
I heard it a lot since I've lived in mainland Nova Scotia.
Maybe that's a tradition here for sure.
So if you do all of those wonderful things with your candles, you're said to have good luck for the year. So looking into this tradition is kind of like a mush of 3 different things in history. First up is the ancient Greeks. They worshipped the goddess Artemis, who is goddess of many, many wonderful things, but she is also goddess of the moon. I especially like this because she is my favorite goddess, and that is who I admire. And my nickname in our friend group is Artemis. Mm-hmm. So I am pretty darn obsessed with her and all of her lore. So I was very happy to learn this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because she's the goddess of the moon, the Greeks would make a round cake in the shape of a full moon once a month to celebrate her birth and pay tribute to her.
Once a month?
Once a month, baby. Artemis deserves
once a month. Oh, okay. Yeah, I suppose. As a
well,
goddess,
it'd be the same as, paying respects to any god that you worship in your own religion or faith. You would, Christianity, you go to church every Sunday, that kind of stuff.
Right.
You guys eat and drink things.
Yeah. We have meals.
Wouldn't you rather if it was a cake once a month?
Once a month, a cake? Hell yeah.
Right?
Like you said in a previous episode, we are adults and we could absolutely have cake once a month if we wanted to.
Once you realize that you can have cake anytime you want, your life changes for the better.
Exactly.
So I'm down. Greeks knew what was up. Worshipping Artemis, who is a very amazing goddess. Making cake once a month, they were living. The Greeks were living. So they'd make this beautiful round cake to represent the full moon, and they would light candles on the cake to represent reflected moonlight on it. They thought that the smoke from the candles would carry wishes and prayers to the sky-dwelling gods and also up to where Artemis lives. So lighting and blowing out these candles is a way to communicate with the Greek gods and kind of get their tribute up to them and their wishes and their desires and anything they wanted to communicate with the gods. So this kind of seems like a real solid place of where this came from, but there are some other ones. So, different parts of the world, depends on kind of what came first. Maybe one influenced the other. We don't know. But the other one is has roots in pagan rituals. So ancient pagans have always used fire in their rituals. And on their birthday, some believed that the candles had a symbolic power and helped protect them from spirits that were visiting them, maybe unwanted spirits. They would surround themselves with family and friends and light the candles. They also have beliefs that the smoke from the candles help to carry their wishes to whichever god they worship. This is also where we can find the tradition of singing happy birthday. So that is another thing that we do. It's not really a superstition, but it is a tradition that when you bring out the cake, everybody sings the happy birthday song.
Yes.
In a lot of pagan religions, you need to raise energy before you can do a ritual or a spell. If that's a part of your faith where you do rituals and spells, because I know not every pagan, religion's the same. There's a ton of them, but a lot of them, when you're doing rituals, you have to raise energy before you can do it. And there's a ton of ways you can raise energy, but one of them is singing. And so having a group of people around you all sing a song before you make a wish is just literally a low-key way to cast a spell, because everyone is raising energy by singing, And so then raising that energy and then making your wish and blowing out the candles is a way to kind of make your spell and finalize it.
That's kind of a neat little, almost a theory. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. I like the thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, a lot of religions, even if they don't, even not pagan religions, even Christian religions, you sing and stuff, and that's a way to kind of raise energy. And I find especially you see some of them when they're singing those real fast-paced songs and everybody's really into it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like any kind of religion,
yeah,
raising energy like that is a great way to, celebrate rituals or get your prayers or whatever it is you're doing, prayers or spells or whatever it is out there. So that's just a way to trick all your friends into helping you raise energy to make your wish come true.
I kind of love that, actually.
Right?
Yeah. Haha, I'm going to wish for this thing and make everybody sing me happy birthday so I get it.
Right? Hey, the more energy you raise, the more likely that spell is to come through for you.
Even more reason to have giant birthday parties. I think everybody, the older you get, what I've noticed a lot of times, the older people get, the less they like to celebrate their birthdays. But I am the type of person where I love to celebrate. I'll celebrate minimum the weekend before, the weekend after, and the week of. Mm-hmm. And there were times in the past, decade where I would celebrate the whole month. I just love birthdays so much, and not necessarily because of the presents or the gifts, but just like the fun you get to have and celebrating with your friends. And just, I don't know, I feel like it's just a great excuse to have a good time and hang out with your friends and do the things that you love to do and have a lot of fun doing it and bringing everybody together. And I just love that. My love language is quality time, if you didn't know.
I'm with you. I love it.
So I think it's a great idea. I think everybody should always celebrate their birthday. And this is even more reason why all of your wishes will come true.
To invite all the people so you can get more energy.
That's right.
Make your birthday wish come true.
Make everyone sing you happy birthday.
Yeah. Yep.
Love it.
The last historical connection to this tradition is to the German tradition of Kinderfest, which started in the 18th century. This was an event they held for children and closely mirrors how we celebrate kids' birthday parties now. A lot of people draw a connection from this celebration to the pagan birthday celebration because the children, I find this part a little interesting, the children would be taken into a large room where they could celebrate their day in a safe space protected from evil or unwanted spirits. So I guess at this time in Germany, they thought that on your birthday, it seemed like especially kids, it didn't really mention adults, that perhaps they were more susceptible to evil spirits or unwanted spirits. I don't know if it would be attacking them or contacting them or what it is. I'm not sure what they do in that part of the world. So they would keep them in a safe space where they could celebrate and enjoy their birthday. And then they would also use a cake, much like we do now with candles, and blow out the candles. Wow. So I feel like the moral of this one and what we learned is that I don't think saying your wish in silence really makes a difference. I don't think that'll affect your wish. There was nothing in here that said you had to say it silently. I feel like, honestly, you say it louder and prouder, it's going to make it stronger and happen even more.
Except the first thing that you said. Oh, that was the actual superstition, though.
That was the actual superstition.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. It seems everyone seemed to be more about the actual smoke from the candles being able to carry your wish away rather than.
So the more candles, the more likely. See, this is why as you get older, you need to make more people come sing you happy birthday, and you have more candles on your cake. You should always have the amount of years old you are.
Yes.
Amount of candles.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Another tradition that people often do. Although our cakes are getting pretty filled.
Oh my God. Next year it will be 40. I better have 40 damn candles on my cake next year.
Oh God. Somebody remind me next year.
We have to invite our firefighter friend.
Yeah.
Just in case.
God. So now we're going to do more like rapid fire superstitions / traditions.
Okay.
Because these ones were a little shorter. Like they don't have as much backstory as those two did. Those two were definitely the biggest, meatiest ones.
Yeah.
So these ones are a little more snack size. Also, if you do search these ones up, anywhere you go on the internet, people are going to disagree about everything. So
of course,
some websites would be like, no, this is where I think it came from. So I went with the backstories that had some kind of historical support with them on like reputable websites and that cited sources, because I'll pretty much always believe somebody if they cite some sources.
Absolutely.
Well, because then I know you did some work, but if somebody just had a vlog and they were like, I think it's this, then I'm like, why do you think it's that? What research did you do?
Exactly. Yep. I'm with you on that one.
The first one is walking under a ladder that's open or leaned up against something. Have you heard this one?
Yes, and I do not believe in that one. I've walked under so many ladders in my life.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so Megan's against this one.
Yeah, I am.
So this one is, if you don't know, if you walk under a ladder, an open ladder, it's bad luck for you. This started 5,000 years ago in Egypt. Egyptians considered
5,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Record keeping goes back that far, does it? Oh
yeah.
my God. Was it hieroglyphics on a wall somewhere?
No. Well, it was Egyptians considered triangles to be a sacred shape because it represents the trinity of the gods, which explains the shape of the pyramids. So a ladder leaned up against a wall makes a triangle shape. So if you were to walk through there, it would desecrate the gods in their eyes.
Wow.
This belief carried on throughout the years and the world. And then eventually Christianity didn't like that people had a belief that was attached to other gods. So then they kind of took it and made their own version, that a ladder had restored the crucifix. So it became a symbol of betrayal, wickedness, and death.
What?
So walking, this is what historians told me.
I did
so they
not
were like,
ever hear
Egyptian
that.
gods, nah.
Didn't
but
learn
we're gonna
that
keep
in
your
Sunday
ladder.
school. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if this was in the Bible, but
I definitely do not remember that teaching in
the
Sunday
ladder.
School, so
Can we control F in the Bible for the word ladder?
There's probably a way to do that online, I'm sure.
So then the church said walking under it would bring you similar misfortunes of betrayal and death.
Wow.
In England in the 1600s, where Christianity was very popular, they actually made criminals walk under a ladder on their way to the gallows.
Oh my soul.
So they
On
just
their
really
way
wanted that
to their
extra
death?
FU when you're already about to die.
Right. Like, okay, this makes it come true, but I mean, you're really kind of pushing it a little bit.
I don't know. Maybe they think that means they'll go to hell or something. I guess they already would be if they're criminals. I don't know.
Not necessarily, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
The next one is knocking on wood. Do you do this one?
I do it more as a joke, and I usually knock on my head.
Oh.
Knock on wood. It's all wood up there, you know?
I feel like I do this one, and you do it just to not jinx something, right? To like, oh, I've never gotten a speeding ticket, knock on wood.
Yeah.
It's not going to come true kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
right. I'd consider that not jinxing it. Historians believe that this could have been from Europe, where pagans would either knock loudly to keep evil spirits away, or they would knock on trees to appeal to tree-dwelling spirits. Certain trees were connected to certain spirits, and they all had different meanings, and knocking on the right tree would bring protective powers or good fortune. So the way they kind of translate that is, you would say, I don't want my crops on my farm. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. The crops on my farm have never died. I don't want them to rot this season. Let me go knock on this willow tree that brings good harvest or whatever.
Gotcha.
So they would knock on this specific thing that they were looking for. And then over time, they would just knock on any wood.
Gotcha.
When Christianity became popular in Europe, the church then changed it to knock on the wood of the crucifix for good luck. The next one is that a broken mirror brings you 7 years of bad luck. What about this one?
I've heard of it, but I don't, again, believe it.
You don't follow it?
Broken many mirrors.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, I am one of those people.
Do you feel like you have bad luck?
I actually broke a mirror like, I don't know, I want to say 3 months ago or something like that. I don't know. I don't think I have bad luck. I don't.
Did you suddenly start having bad luck?
No, I don't think so. I don't feel like it. Not in a general day-to-day basis. Now, when Mercury's in retrograde, that's a different story.
In ancient Greece, people would often consult a mirror seer. They would be able to tell a person's fortune by analyzing their reflection in a mirror. This was also used to predict health. Or if you were sick, you would go to them and they'd be able to tell you how it's looking.
I would be interested to have that done.
Yes. I don't understand why they can't just look at your reflection with their eyes. Like,
I mean, look
you
at
know what I mean?
You?
Like,
why do they have
them
to look
looking at your reflection, but they could just look at you instead. But
exactly.
There must have been some kind of reason.
A mirror must show imperfections.
Yes.
Some
Oh,
kind,
well,
or
I guess, look,
flaws.
I'm wild in here.
Okay.
Because I literally wrote, I hope everyone remembers my episode on the cursed scrying mirror.
Yeah,
so I
that's
guess
right.
they considered the mirror a tool of divination. So the reflection was worth more than just what their eyes could see.
Right.
So they were using it for divination. The seers would often dip the mirror into water for when people were sick. So they would, dunk the mirror in water, lift it up, put the reflection, and the sick people would look into the glass. If the image was distorted, the person was likely to die. Which I feel like is not fair, because think about when there's water on mirror, how distorted the images look.
Absolutely. They're always distorted because you have water like reflecting and,
refracting.
Refracting is the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Yes.
The image is always going to be distorted, for sure.
Right? I feel like a lot of those sick people got bad diagnosis.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 7 years part comes a little later and was added by the Romans. They believed that people's health changed in 7-year cycles. So if you broke a mirror, your image would be distorted, and that translated into 7 years of misfortune and bad health instead of just straight up death, like originally if your image was distorted. Mm-hmm. Yes, so it was a combo.
I think that's what I've heard is the 7 years of bad luck.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah.
So the whole thing started with the Greeks using the mirror as divination and, the kind of meaning behind it. And then the Romans kind of made it less awful and was like, it's only 7 years. It's not the rest of your life.
Right. It's like when you go bankrupt, you have 7 years of bad credit.
Oh, gosh.
I guess it's similar in a way.
The next one is something that I always do, and I feel like you probably do it too, Megan, and that is wishing on a shooting star.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I don't wish on them, but I do love watching the stars.
You don't make a wish?
Shooting stars. No.
Why not? I
don't really believe in making wishes.
What?
Not really.
Why?
I don't know. I don't ever wish for anything, really. Like I pray. I feel like that's a little bit different though.
That is different?
Yeah. So, but that's what I usually leave it to. I don't make wishes really.
What about as a kid? Not even as a kid?
I may have as a kid. I don't know. I can't remember.
Man, I make wishes all the time. Do you know how many times I wish that Pokemon were real?
Oh, no, I don't know how many times.
A lot.
Okay.
The answer is a lot.
I take your word for that one.
On most shooting stars.
Oh, that's so funny. How many shooting stars do you actually see?
I mean, in my lifetime, probably quite a few.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like to stargaze. I'm also from somewhere where the stars are very visible.
Oh, gorgeous spot.
Yeah. Not so much here. Too much pollution.
Absolutely. Light pollution.
Light pollution.
Maybe also air pollution. I don't know.
I mean, probably a little of that too.
A little bit.
So the Greeks are coming in clutch with another one. A Greek astronomer named Ptolemy said that the gods had to open up the space that divides the earth and the sky from the divine sphere in order to watch over humanity. So basically, the gods were in their own divine sphere outside of the sky. And in order for them to make sure they're watching over, they had to just peel back the layers and peek in. So shooting stars were what slipped through when the gods opened up that divine sphere. So if you saw one of them, you knew the gods were watching over you and listening, so you could say a prayer or you could wish to them, which I feel like is very sweet. I like
really
that.
Really cute. Yeah.
Right?
Pretty cute for sure. Yeah.
I love that. And I feel like at the time, I'm sure if people in Greece saw a shooting star, that must have brought a lot of joy to them to think like, oh, the gods are watching me. The gods are listening to me.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah.
The next one, I feel like I say a lot, but I never actually do. And I literally, when I was writing this story, Megan, you texted me about something and I said this phrase back to you.
Okay, which one?
Crossing your fingers for good luck.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I don't, I can't remember the last time I actually physically crossed my fingers, but I do say it a lot.
I do too, and I use the emoji a lot. I have the fingers crossed
same.
emoji all the time. But yeah, you're right. I say it a lot, but I don't actually do it. Except right
same.
now when I was talking about it.
This one is thought to originate from the pre-Christianity pagan belief in Western Europe. A cross was a powerful symbol, and the intersection was supposed to mark a concentration of good spirits. So it was thought that it could anchor a wish until it came true. So if you were hoping for something to happen, you would use a cross to wish upon, and it would just anchor all that good energy and all those good spirits until your wish could finally come to fruition. People would often wish upon a cross, and in a pinch, if they didn't have like a physical cross, they would use their index finger crossed over another person's index finger to try, so the other person would want to support them in their wish. So they would be doing like one of these. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know why it was a 2-person job, but
yeah, that's weird.
So originally it was 2-man job. So I think part of it was also you were supporting the other person in their wish. So you were helping them anchor their good energy so that they could do it.
So it didn't even start out as like you're literally crossing your middle and index finger on the same hand.
We're going to get there.
Okay.
So, over time, what does everything do? It becomes more efficient, Megan.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So at first you had to have a physical cross, but you know what? If you're out in the town, you need to make a wish.
You didn't bring your
cross
with
you and your buddy
you.
Cross your fingers. It's fine.
But you had to have a buddy with you.
Yeah, exactly. So then eventually people just wanted something that they could do on their own. So at first they would cross their own 2 index fingers to do it, which then eventually, always getting more efficient, they transformed it into the one-hand crossed fingers that we do today, where we kind of put our middle finger over our index finger. I put my middle over my index because it's bigger.
I put my middle over my index too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't even think I could do it the other way.
No, your index is too small. I can kind of do it, but not comfortably.
Index. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that was kind of how it devolved into being just the one we do now. So I find that wild because I assumed the phrase cross your fingers referred to them being crisscrossed. Like you know what I mean? Like I assume it was a crisscross, but it actually means a cross shape, like in a cross.
That's interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. And it's for wishes?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
So it's just originally, in pagan belief, I'm not sure which pagan religion, a cross was the intersection marked a concentration of good spirits.
Yeah.
So it would be like, I don't know, Christian things. What's rosary? Is that a thing you have? Do you make prayers on that? Prayer beads?
Oh, in Catholic religion.
Oh, so I'm pretty sure they have prayer beads that they make prayers on, right?
I think so, yeah.
I've seen that in movies.
Yeah.
So it'd be a similar tool. So the cross would have an intersection of good spirits in the center. So it would be a way to, bolster your wishes or to speak to those good spirits. And then, in a pinch, you didn't have your cross. So you would get the buddy and you'd make a buddy cross.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah. That one really went from something and then like ended up on something else.
Yes, it absolutely did. I never would have thought that action was meant to be like a cross.
An original cross. I know, right? It's wild.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now everyone can make a little cross with their fingers when they speak to people and be like, fingers crossed for you. And the people will be like, has this person never been to this planet?
You would think they're trying to like cast out the demons from your soul or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to make a wish, I promise.
Yeah. Now, Megan, have you ever battled your siblings to break the turkey wishbone on a holiday?
Oh.
Or have you ever done it with your siblings?
Yeah, I think we have. I don't think I don't remember.
I just figured because there was more than two of you.
Yeah, but I would always probably lose if that were the case as the baby. I don't know. Like, mom would have to step in and be like, let your sister do it. If it went that way, that's the way it went. But I actually don't remember. I don't remember a whole lot from my childhood in that regard.
Well, this one dates back to the Etruscans. They used chickens to predict the future by watching how they ate their grain. They clearly thought very highly of chickens and they were very sacred to them. So when they would do a ritual slaughter to kill them for food, they would leave the collarbone whole and dry it in the sun. So a wishbone is just a collarbone.
I did not know that.
No, and it grosses me out.
Well, especially you who does not eat meat. So Right. So after reading this whole thing that I'm about to read you, I am like disgusted. Oh,
and
no.
I don't know if it's because I know it's a collarbone now and then I just think of my own collarbone, or if it's also, I mean, I feel like it's both. I also don't eat meat anymore, so then it grosses me out.
Yeah.
So they would keep these collarbones for luck and they would make wishes on them. When the Romans conquered the Etruscans, they adopted this tradition, but they had a shortage of sacred chickens, so they started breaking them so more people could have a piece of the collarbone. But since this was a symbol of luck, having the bigger half, if you were to crack it in two, meant that you would have more luck than the other person.
Oh, see, the way that we did it was you had to use your pinky and whoever had the bigger half had a wish granted. So we did wishes for that.
Yeah.
Breaking
so it'd be the same kind of thing.
Because it's a wishbone or whatever, yeah.
Right. So it's the same thing. So they made wishes on them. Okay. But, if you had a bigger one, if you had the biggest one, then you would think that you had the most powerful one. So any of your wishes made on it would be more likely to come true than Joe Schmo's collarbone that's only a couple inches big.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So when settlers moved to America, they brought this tradition, but they changed it to be for turkeys since that's,
because they're bigger, maybe
sacred bird over here that we eat for our fancy meals. It's gonna be
Thanksgiving this weekend. I'm getting to have turkey. Yum yum yum.
It is Canadian Thanksgiving for those of you that are in Canada.
Yeah, when this comes out next week, it will already
be over.
Happened. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody!
Turkey.
Yes.
My favorite part of Thanksgiving dinner is the stuffing. What's your favorite part?
Mine used to be the stuffing until stupid gluten crap.
You can still get stuffing.
I know, but I haven't had stuffing yet that is as good as the stuffing that I had. My stepmom makes like the best stuffing I've ever had in my life. It's so delicious and I don't know what she does to it. And we were just talking last night about me going there for Christmas this year. And she was talking about how she picked up some gluten-free stuffing somewhere. And I was like, oh, I hope it's as good as your homemade stuff. I feel like nothing's going to match that. And she's like, well, I'll make 2 batches of stuffing. She was talking about having stuffing for the gluten-free stuffing, but she was also going to try making it the way that she normally makes it with gluten-free products. So we'll see.
You should be able to do it.
We shall see.
I mean, I don't know how she makes her stuffing, but really the only thing in there would be the bread. So you just got to buy some gluten-free bread.
Yeah, she puts a lot of ingredients in it, like spices and herbs and apples and cranberries, and it's just like a whole mixture of things.
All that stuff would be gluten-free, though. I think she can do it. I have faith you'll get your stuffing.
Yummy. I really hope so. I will keep you all posted if I get my stuffing for Christmas.
Yes, please.
I doubt I'll get it for Thanksgiving. We'll see. Can't have stovetop stuffing.
That's crap stuffing.
The worst stuffing for you ever, and I love it so much. I hate that I love it. I just love crap, apparently. Just fill my body with it.
You heard it here, Megan, 2022.
No.
I love crap.
I'll put that on our new merch.
Yeah. So this article about wishbones also said that common sayings like give me a break, lucky break, and bad break come from the tradition of breaking the wishbone/collarbone.
That's interesting. I wonder if that is also where they got the song for Kit Kat Bar.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat Bar. I don't know. I had to finish it. I'm a finisher. Wait, that sounds really bad. Anyway, continue.
Megan's got the quotes tonight.
Give me a break.
Next one is spilling salt, and it's bad luck for you. And in order to counteract that, you have to toss it over your shoulder.
I've heard of that one before.
I feel like that's a very common one.
Yeah, I think I saw it. What was it? Dumb and Dumber, maybe? Can't remember what it was. It was funny. It was a movie. That was the first. I think it was the first time I'd actually seen that one.
So salt used to be a very high valued possession and was often considered a currency in certain parts of the world. Romans were often paid in salt, which is where the expression or variations of it come when you say someone's not worth, one's weight in salt, or someone's not worth it in salt. The word salary also apparently is derived from the word sal, which is the Latin word for sodium chloride, aka salt. So the word salary actually comes from salt.
What, like your salary that you make money from work? What?
Yep. Because originally they were paid in salt. That was their salary.
Oh, that's so interesting. I didn't know that.
Right?
That's kind of cool.
So it was a very high valued possession, just as highly valued as money is nowadays.
Wow, I did not know that. Now it's like a dime a dozen.
Since it was considered very valuable, spilling it was just like spilling money, like throwing money out.
Wow.
And was considered very, very bad. The throwing over your shoulder part comes from Christianity. In Da Vinci's very famous painting of The Last Supper, there is spilled salt in front of Judas's elbow. I don't know Christianity that well, but I do know that in an episode of the TV show Angel, they taught me that Judas is the ultimate betrayer, and the deepest level of hell was reserved for him.
Oh.
Is that correct?
I don't know about that part, but I do know he betrayed Jesus 3 times. And
yes.
Was the ultimate
well, in Dante's
betrayer,
Inferno,
sure.
They go through all the levels of hell. I learned this in Angel.
Okay.
Which sounds like it's possibly a religious TV show if you're unsure, but it's not. It's about a vampire.
Yeah.
And
yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer spinoff.
It's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer spinoff. And they mention that in the book Dante's Inferno, it's all about the different rings of hell, and the deepest ring in hell is reserved for Judas, the ultimate betrayer.
I've never heard that.
So then I'm assuming based on this and based on the fact that Judas betrayed Jesus, that Christians don't like Judas.
I guess. Yeah, no, I suspect not.
I suspect that he's not a good guy in their books.
No, Definitely not.
Therefore, spilled salt in front of him just furthers the bad rep you get for spilling it. And Christianity says that the devil is said to live behind a person's left shoulder. So you should toss some salt over that shoulder to blind him. Huh. I've never done that part. Like, I've never really done any of it, but
no,
like either. I've heard, like I've knocked over salt before and everyone's like, oh, that's bad luck. Throw it over your shoulder. And I'm like, huh. But I don't like to do that because
it's dirty.
Mess stresses me out, and the thought of salt granules on the floor.
Oh my gosh. If you get that on the bottom of your feet, oh, it's over.
Oh, that stresses me out.
I hate anything on the bottom of my feet. And I like to walk around barefoot a lot. So anything on my feet makes me crazy.
So here is our last one. Megan, have you ever... Oh, I just scratched my microphone. Megan, have you ever thrown coins into a fountain or a well or any water and made a wish?
I did once. Minimum.
Just once?
I can't recall any other time. And the only time that I remember is because it was at Trafalgar Fountain, I believe in Florence, Italy. I think that's in Florence. And when you do throw a coin, you have to, I forget what the tradition is, but you're supposed to throw it kind of like the salt. You're supposed to throw it, I think, backwards into the fountain over your left shoulder, I believe, or your right shoulder. And it means that you'll go back eventually someday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I did do it then, but I don't really believe in that stuff. And I have never been back, so I don't.
Oh my! We learned a lot about Megan today. She doesn't like to make wishes.
I'm not a very superstitious person. I said that at the
beginning. But not superstitious wishes. Like as a kid, didn't like. I don't know. I wished for stuff all the time.
I mean, I guess I probably wished for, like, I'd wish for a new toy or whatever. But I don't know. I don't feel like I don't know. I didn't hold a lot of weight on them.
Man, my imagination was wild and as a kid, so I was wishing for wild things.
It's in London. Trafalgar Square in London, England is where the fountain is. So it's in London. I was wrong. It's not in Italy, which I didn't realize. I forget. I was 15, okay?
It's okay. No one's grilling you. So Megan didn't make any wishes, but as a kid, actually my whole life, but especially when I was younger, I was thrilled to throw coins into fountains or wells to make a wish. And I legit have very vivid memories of my mom handing me a coin and I'd have it in my wee little hand and I would close my eyes and I would think so hard about my wish and I'd be squeezing that damn coin, trying to think of what my wish was going to be. And then the pressure's on to think of like a good wish too. So then I'd stand there for like a couple minutes with my eyes shut so tight, trying to think. And then I would just drop it and it would like plop in the water. And I'd like to like look at it for a few minutes to see it in there. And then I'd be so freaking excited after that for the whole day.
I think that you put a lot of pressure on yourself for that wish.
But it's not pressure. I wasn't wishing for like world peace or anything. I was wishing for like fun things and happy things. And I hope that my mom takes me back here again someday. Aww. Or I hope soon we can have a picnic.
Oh, that's really cute.
I hope that mom and I can do a puzzle this weekend when we're home.
God, listen to you.
I was a pretty freaking cute kid. And now I wish that Pokemon were real. That's where I put all my energy.
Oh, that's your adult wishes.
Yeah. They've changed. My priorities have shifted.
Apparently.
So it turns out tossing the coin into water was originally done by a lot of pagans and witches as a ritual to appeal to water spirits that were living in these old fountains or rivers or wells, whatever it was. It was basically a quick way to show tribute to them, and sometimes in exchange for asking for help, you might, sometimes it would just be to pay tribute to them and show your appreciation, but sometimes, if you needed a little extra help and you wanted to speak to them, you could give them an offering of a coin and toss it in the water and ask if they'd be able to help you. which is usually charge the coin they're about to toss with their intention before throwing it in to call on the gods or the spirit or whatever or whoever it is that that person is kind of reaching out to for help or to pay tribute to. So now that makes me very excited when I look back at little old tiny me attempting little spells as a child as I'm trying to charge my coin, my little eyes shut, squeezing on my coin as hard as I can to try and charge it up. And so that one kind of never really changed. I mean, people obviously don't, I mean, some people do, but the general public aren't paying tribute to a particular, spirit or god, but the intention is still the same, that they're tossing that coin in exchange for some kind of magical wish. So that is all the superstitions I looked up. Did I miss any, Megan, that you think is like a big superstition around here? The only other one that I did look up was opening an umbrella indoors.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, the answer was stupid. It was just like, it was dangerous. So it's not good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was no like cool Greeks or pagans or Christians and it morphed into something else. It was like considered dangerous because they often were made of metal. So then they said it's bad luck, so people wouldn't do it.
I'm trying to think. Like stuff I've heard. Oh, one I was thinking of that I actually kind of do believe in. It was one of the ones I was thinking of when you started this. Was if your left palm is itchy, that means you're going to be giving away money or losing money in the near future. So you should itch it really hard, like not really hard so that you're pulling your skin off or anything, but itch it a lot. And then if your right palm is itchy, that means you're going to be getting money that you wouldn't normally be getting, and you can't itch it. So you have to let it be itchy. And the more you itch it, the less money you're going to actually get. That's one that I've heard. I actually do believe that one.
On the superstitions list, there was ones about itchy palms and burning ears, but it was one of those things like the day that you and I were talking about the rhymes about crows, where everyone thought it meant different things. Like, an itchy palm means this. No, an itchy palm means this. And it was one of those ones that like there was no consensus that an itchy palm means bad luck.
I will tell you right now that what I just said has come true every time I've noticed it. And that is just every time I've noticed it. I don't know if I pay attention to it every single time, but every time that I can think of where I've noticed my palm, especially my right palm being itchy, and I don't itch it, I do end up getting money very shortly afterwards that I wouldn't normally have gotten. It's weird. And I am not a superstitious person at all, but somebody had told me that once. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then the next time I noticed it, because they put that in your head, right? So maybe it's just me drawing that energy towards myself because it's something that I wanted to see if what happened or not. And I just kind of drew it towards me. I don't know how energy works, but it does happen. It's happened more. It has happened enough to make me believe in it.
Interesting. I quickly Googled it. And basically, it means different things. That's the thing. No one could agree on the meaning for it, but it has to do with either getting or receiving money. And it says that this can be traced back to the Saxons and the Celts in Europe during pre-Christian era. And they believed rubbing one's skin on silver was a cure for most diseases, so they started to rub their itchy palms on silver. Eventually, it turned into the superstition that an itch meant silver was coming your way.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. And then Romans, later it was adopted by the Romans, especially by fortune tellers, and it turned more into the versions that we know today.
Interesting.
Yes, this article always then goes on to explain that if you have itchy palms, you could have skin disease. So please don't scratch your palms until you can confirm you don't have a skin disease.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. My palms are not itchy that often, so I know I don't have skin disease. Cool. Well,
that's it. Those are my superstitions. I hope we all learned something.
We absolutely did. Learned nothing.
Jeez, thanks, Megan.
I'm kidding. No, we learned that superstitions always have like an origin history, and people are just crazy to believe everything. And I'm one of those people.
Did Megan? You don't have to roll. I see you have a dice in your hand.
I do. I literally was about to roll.
Put that down. So Megan just called all of us that believe in these superstitions crazy.
Including
so next
myself.
year, I got to retract her birthday statement. Next year for her birthday, nobody sing, and there's going to be no candles on her cake. Candleless.
That's really sad. Thanks, Nikki.
Don't call us crazy.
I mean it in the most endearing way.
Dude, hey, you're doing one of these. So
I was also talking about myself. So cool. Okay. Well. Thank you for that very entertaining and interesting knowledge, whatever the word is that I was trying to think of that I can't think of now because it's late and I'm tired. Thank you, everybody, for listening to our podcast today. If you want to follow us for more fun and excitement between episodes, you can follow us on all of the social medias. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have TikTok. We still need to post on TikTok. We haven't done that yet, but you can find us on all of those things at the Grimdark Diaries. And if you want to send us an email, why don't you see if you can send us an email with all of your superstitions if we didn't talk about ones that you believe in. Or you can write a comment on the Instagram post after this episode releases and let us know what you all think of these superstitions, or if you have some of your own that were not mentioned today. We would love to hear those. So if you do want to email us, we are at the grimdarkdiaries@gmail.com. And if you are listening to us on an Apple podcast, we would love it if you would give us a 5-star rating and maybe give us a comment. Tell us on the comments what you think of our podcast, and let us know what you have for a superstition or a funny dad joke, whatever you would like to write. We would love to hear from you. And whatever other podcast platform that you are listening to us on, if you want to do the thing that the podcast will allow you to do, we would be greatly we would greatly my words are not coming out today. We would greatly appreciate you. The 5-star ratings, you can give us a 5-star rating on Spotify now. So if you would not mind doing that, if you're listening to us on Spotify, we would love to get a 5-star rating from you so we can get higher up on those algorithms and get our name out there and be found by other people. We would love to grow our little community and Grimdark Friends in the Dark family. And everything else, whatever else you can do on those podcast platforms, we would greatly appreciate it. So join us next week to see what I come up with for spooky season episode number 2 this year. And remember, a friend in the dark beats alone in the light.